Scene script. Why is it that every time we stumble upon an ancient structure, its purpose is almost always classified as religious? Could it be that our ancestors were so spiritually inclined that they dedicated most of their architectural prowess to building temples? Or is it a convenient label that archaeologists use when they can't quite figure out the original purpose of these ancient structures? It's easy to imagine that our ancient ancestors led simple lives, eating, sleeping, and praying. This image is reinforced when we constantly label every non-residential ancient building as a temple. Yet, this isn't an accurate reflection of the ancient world. Just like today, the ancients had a variety of needs and interests. They would have needed places to trade, to store goods, to handle legal matters, and so much more. So, is it not possible that many of the structures we've labeled as temples could have been ancient banks, marketplaces, or even law courts? Consider the designs and symbols that adorn these ancient structures. Without contemporary written records explaining their significance, we're left to interpret them as best we can. And often these interpretations lean towards the religious. However, consider this. Many buildings from the 19th and 20th centuries feature statues of gargoyles and other mythical creatures. Does this make them religious in nature? Not at all. These designs served an artistic purpose, and it's entirely possible the same could be true for many ancient structures. What about figurines found at these sites? Often they're declared to be depictions of deities, but without clear evidence, this is little more than speculation. Some of these figurines may simply have been decorative items, or perhaps they were the work of a novice craftsman practicing their skills. Archaeologists have a great deal of latitude in their interpretations of the past, and these interpretations often differ wildly from one expert to the next. However, it's important to remember that not every ancient structure was a temple, and not every figurine was a goddess. It's entirely possible that our ancestors were not as overwhelmingly spiritual as we've been led to believe. Instead, they were complex individuals with diverse needs and interests, much like us today. And their architecture, far from being solely religious, likely reflected this diversity. In conclusion, while it's tempting to label every unknown ancient structure as a temple, we must resist this urge. By doing so, we can gain a more accurate understanding of our ancestors and their lives. After all, they were not so different from us, and their structures were likely and multifaceted as the buildings we construct today.